doing it by myself here. Let's see.
It's the best ham radio show online. Amateur radio roundtable every time. Tom W5KUB keeps the stream alive. With hams worldwide, we're feeling the vibe. With Glenn KW5GP breaking it down. Building gear and wearing that crown. And Brett WY7BG shouting clear. Coming in strong from here, DD. Oh, and Mark B. Yeah, he's part of the light. So tune in every Tuesday night. It's more than mics and modulation. It's heart and soul in every station. From kits and code to satellites. We learn, we laugh, we share the nights. So grab your rig, grab your crew. It's always something cool and new. No matter.
All right. Wow. Welcome, everybody. You're tuned in to Amateur Radio Roundtable. This is a show about ham radio, amateur radio, shortwave, electronics. We do a lot of things on here. And hopefully we'll be bringing some interesting stuff to you tonight. We want to welcome you, especially if you're out there listening on shortwave radio on WBCQ on 7490. We are on that. We rebroadcast our show on Thursdays. So if you're listening on Thursday. The show's not live if you're listening out there. But anyway, we're coming to you there from Monticello, Maine, up on the very tip of Maine up there on the border of Canada. And we're not a real high power station. I think we're kind of down probably in about the 50,000 watt area, something like that, you know. But we're still happy. We're still on shortwave, and I do get emails from people around the world that tune us in. Several have come to our Facebook group this week and said they found our Facebook group by hearing about it on the shortwave. So let me tell you about the Facebook group. We've got over 15,000 people in it. We'd love to have you join the Facebook group. It's about the show. It's about ham radio, shortwave. We've got a great group of people in there. We're hitting right at 15,000 people in that group now. So it's a really good group. Just search for W5KUB in the Facebook search bar up there. If you'll search for W5KUB, you will find us. You will find our group. We'll approve your membership, and you'll be right in there. And we'd love to have you. We're also just about on every audio podcast carrier out there, like iHeartRadio, iNet Radio, Google Play. All those are carrying us out there. And send us an email if you guys out there on the podcast or the shortwave are listening tonight. Send us an email to Tom at W5KUB.com. Tom at W5KUB.com. Well, we got lots to talk about tonight. Lots and lots and lots. Probably is going to have to go into next week. I know Brett has got some interesting things to show us about a hamfest he attended. Harold's on here with us tonight from the hamfest that we had down at Corinth, Mississippi last weekend. Was it last weekend? I think it was last. I'm all mixed up. Anyway, Harold's with us. We're going to look at all the pictures and talk about that hamfest. Hambot is with us tonight. Hambot is here, and Hambot is going to Hambot's going to give away a prize tonight, and I don't know why Hambot did. I guess his audio is probably not on, but anyway. That's okay. Hambot's going to be with us, and he'll be in the chat room. Now, let me just give you a heads up right now. Heads up right now. If you want to be eligible for the prize, we're going to give away a handy-talkie tonight. And if you want to be eligible for the handy-talkie, you got to be in our chat room, and you can go to our chat room just by going to W5KUB.com. W5KUB.com, and on the right side you'll see the little login for our chat room. Just put your call letters there, your name, Billy Joe, Bill Bob, whoever you are, and then hit the enter key or join, whatever the button is, and then you'll be on the chat room. And Hambot is going to pick a name from that chat room, and this is going to be a handy talkie again from Gigaparts, and we're going to be giving away probably a handy talkie every show from Gigaparts. Maybe substitute some different things in there occasionally, but mostly it's going to be like the handy talkie, probably most nights there. Let's see. So, hey, tonight Hambot's going to be with us. We're going to talk about Hamfest. Man, I've got some interesting deals that I've been working the last couple of weeks. I dug a 140-foot trench to put a pipe in for irrigation, and I had a leak in that pipe, and we never could find it. And I want to tell you how we found it with some tracking, and this is just water. There was no wire there or anything. Anyway, hey, I want to show you. We did a segment on the Starlink standard dish. I've got a real short video on unboxing, and I'll give you some information on the Starlink Mini. That's the little. It's about the size of a sheet of paper. I took it to North Carolina and tested it over there, and it worked just really great out there. And we actually used it mobile all the way back from North Carolina to Memphis. So I'm going to talk a little about that tonight. Last week I was going to show you how I tore my smartphone apart and replaced the battery. That's going to be interesting. We might do that tonight. We got a Hamfest coming up next weekend at Crowley's Ridge. And hey, I've got some more news from Martin Jew. Talked to him today. MHA has sold Cushcraft and High Gain, so a company has bought those, and we'll talk more about that a little later in the show. So I got all these tickers running. They're important. Most important thing I think is at the top up there, if you look, I'd like for you to subscribe. Probably 70 to 80% of the people who watch the show are not subscribed. And it helps us out a whole lot if you would subscribe. Also, it'll notify you when the show's going to be coming on. Now, we've changed recently to every other week, and then that was, who knows what every other week means, so we're clarifying that tonight. We're going to be on every second and fourth Wednesday. Every second and fourth Wednesday. Just remember that. You may have to look at a calendar, but that's the best way to get the word out to you. Join that Facebook group, and you'll get notices, and subscribe, and you'll get notices there too. All right. Let's go around the room here and see what we got going here before we jump into tonight's show. And let's just pick up Brett there. Brett, how you doing out there out west?
Well, here in Laramie, Wyoming, it's Cinter. We don't really have a spring here. What we have is summer, winter, summer, winter, summer, winter, and eventually it settles into being all summer. Also my wife is taking a trip out of town, and so I have become a keeper of birds. I am now tending chickens and quail for her because she raises birds, and I wind up being the bird man when she's not around. So I'm doing that. In ham radio stuff, my club is planning to have a summer camp which trains young prospective hams to become hams to get their technician's licenses, and I am responsible for having them build crystal radios. And so I took apart a big UPS that wasn't working and unwound the transformer to get enameled wire so that I could have them wind coils around toilet paper rolls to make crystal radios. And we're going to tune the crystal radios, instead of just tuning them to the regular AM broadcast band, we are going to tune them to the ham bands and broadcast to them.
Wow.
That's going to be a bit of fun. Other than that, I've been climbing on a lot of roofs. I climbed the mountain the other day to set up microwave gear. Been pretty busy. And then two weekends ago, I went to Larkfest, which is the Longmont Amateur Radio Club's hamfest, and I've got some video from that. mostly in landscape mode. I've got a couple of short segments that went into portrait mode, and well, I can if we have time tonight, I'll show that.
Okay, good, good. Um, you reminded me of a chicken story.
Do tell.
I've got to tell a chicken story. You talked about chickens there, so I probably won't tell us exactly right. I don't know. Ronald Reagan used to tell a lot of jokes, and he had a joke about chickens. I heard this. The reason I'm talking about this, I heard it yesterday. I saw Ronald Reagan talking about it. And somehow this guy invented a three-legged chicken, and yeah, do what? he
Oh,
He invented a three-legged chicken. I'm just going to cut to the chase. I don't know the whole joke right now. He invented a three-legged chicken, and that chicken could. Oh, the guy that drove up beside that chicken, and man, that chicken was just cutting down the road, man, and he was in first gear, and the chicken was keeping up with him, and then he shifted into second gear, got up about 30, 45 miles an hour, and that chicken was still keeping up with him. He got in third gear, man. He was doing 60 miles an hour, and the chicken was still keeping up with him, and then the chicken passed him. This is a three-legged chicken now. Well, the guy said, "Well, that's pretty good, man. Got an extra chicken leg and all that stuff." He said, "Well, how's that chicken taste?" And he said, "I don't know. I can't catch him." Okay.
yeah.
I didn't do a very good job. I didn't do a very good job on that, but. Okay, I got my chicken story in. Anything else going on there?
Well, my wife's chickens are very friendly. They'll come over to me and beg for treats and jump up on my shoulder. As for other things that are going on, now I'm starting to do antenna work again. I'm rebuilding my Delta loop that I showed on the webcast before, and I'm looking at putting up an outdoor mag loop, which is something I haven't done. I have a portable mag loop, but I don't have a permanent outdoor one. And I'm trying to build the tuner for that, because you need, when you do those remotely, you need to have a servo and a vacuum capacitor. So I'm trying to get
Yeah.
the control box together.
I don't know if you saw the one I sold in Russellville Hamfest a couple weeks ago, but it was a fairly good sized loop built, and I had a motor on it, 12 volt DC motor, and I could run the capacitor, forward, backwards, and remotely tune it. I never really made any contacts with it. I played a little with it. I even out in my garage, I've got a square loop. Is that real? Can a loop be square? I guess it can.
A mag loop?
I made me a square loop. It's about each side is about 7 feet, so it's 7 by 7 by 7 by 7. And I put a gamma match on it up there, and made a soldered copper pipe together. It's just hanging out there in the garage, kind of experimental, but I never used it either. So I make all these things and I don't use them. Anyway, that'd be interesting to see how your loop works. I just think you may tell me a magnetic loop is going to work just as good as a full halfway piece of wire out there. I don't know. I trust a halfway piece of wire, or a delta loop or something more than I trust a little magnetic loop.
Yeah, well, they get much more efficient, especially on lower frequencies, if you make them bigger. And
Yeah.
they're not super efficient, but they have such a high Q that they're great for reception. You're not going to get a whole lot of noise because it tunes so sharply. So
Yeah, they're very sharp. Very sharp. Okay. All right. Well, look. Let's just jump into the Corinth Hamfest. Harold, what's it called? Hamfest 2026. What's the official name?
We, my graphics art guy just started out the number system, and we called it the April Fool Ham Fest. And the first year or two, people wouldn't come; they thought it was a joke.
Yeah,
So I thought we'll just let this thing roll with a consecutive number for a while and see how that goes. So
yeah.
the 2026 is a real ham fest. It's April Fool. It's probably everybody stay home.
I
But
wouldn't come to
that's
it.
how
I
the
wouldn't come to
started.
it if it's on April Fools. I don't want people making me look, stupid.
Yeah. So we just subtitle it the April Fool Ham Fest, but it'll be a consecutive number for a little while longer.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, look. Hey, I had a good time here, folks. So we went to the Hamfest in Corinth, that's 2026. Pretty good turnout, I thought. And I've got a lot of pictures here, and we'll jump in these pictures. Maybe some of them may be boring, but what we like to do is just go around these pictures, looking at what's on the table, and talking about it. And I know Harold's got some stuff on his table. We're going to look at that, see what he's got. So let me see if I can pull those pictures up right now and get started here. Now I wonder, is there anybody? You see my white mic's cutting out. Okay, let me fix that. Kind of been watching it. See if I can fix this real quick. All right, test 1, 2. All right. Completely different mic and looks like it's a little hot. Let me turn it down a little bit. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Is that better, Mark? Okay. All right, here we go. Where was I? Oh, the Hamfest. I ended up. Well, I'll talk about it in a minute. Let's get into pictures. Let's get into these pictures. All right. Here we go. Ray Novak from ICOM walked in the door. I saw him, so I did a picture with him here. You guys may know Ray, N9JA, I think. Excuse me. There's Ray. Okay. All right. So, all right. Starting with one of the pictures. Hey, I like this. I don't know, what do you call that thing? Mobility something other scooter. What do you call that, Harold?
What was you liked what?
What is that thing called he's riding there? Mobility something, or a scooter? He's got a mobile antenna on there and everything, man.
Yeah, it's an upward mobile, and it looks like he is.
Even got a license plate on it. Look at that. In case he gets pulled over. That's pretty good. Oh, hey, I want to know real quick, is there anybody in the chat room maybe that is from the area, Corinth area down here, was at the Hamfest? So if you were at the Hamfest and you're in the chat room, just say hello, and so we can see you're in there. There may be a few in there. All right. So now here's what I want to talk about. And I told them I'm going to spend the longest amount of time on this picture right here. These ladies, you might think Harold and some of the other guys run the flea market out there. That ain't right. Here's the real people that are in charge right here. These people right here, they run it with a steel fist. They gave me more trouble than anybody I ever had at any Hamfest, man. I tried to buy some extra tickets, and they about threw me out the door. They said, no, you can't do it. You just can't do it. They wasn't going to let me buy an extra ticket. Now, I did buy a couple extra tickets. They were nice, and I bought a few. And but a little later toward the end of the show, they opened it up, and then if you wanted to buy some more tickets, you could. So I bought a few more tickets, but it didn't help me any. Oh, man, it didn't help me. I lost big time. I was thinking I was going to win that 73. I'm going to have to buy more tickets next time, Harold. You're gonna have
Yeah,
to.
you already had your picture made with Ray Novak, and he's ready to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy more tickets next year, I guess. Now these ladies right here, they were tough. They managed everything, man. They told you where to sit, where your table is, how many tickets you can get. I tell you, I don't know. I tried. My table was down at the very end. I tried to stay as far away from them as I could. I don't know if they're watching tonight, but if they are, I just want to say hello to them.
Yeah. Were they in charge of the donuts too?
Hey, don't
Yeah.
we got a picture of a donut here. We're gonna come to the picture of the donut here in a minute. All right, let's move on. Look,
Yeah,
you can
these-
see
these
all the
ladies
tickets.
are
They had
watching,
plenty of
so be
tickets.
careful.
They had a lot of tickets there. Look at that. All right. All right, here we go. We're going to just start looking around. And Harold, if there's certain people you might recognize, you might mention their name if you want to. I don't know what we're looking at there, but that's just our first picture. Okay.
Yeah, some names I'm not really good with. I think the guy's named Jim, but the rest of that, it's his second
Uh-huh.
time to be with us, I believe, and he
Okay.
has a good spread.
All right. Well, it seems like we got several of him. He must be important. My
Yeah.
goodness.
Yep.
My goodness. Okay. All right. All right. Here's some of the
And
tables here. Now, I don't
That's
know when.
Fat Cat.
I don't know when I just took pictures at different times. Early when it started, later, close to closing time. A lot of people did leave early, and I've noticed that about a lot of hamfests lately. The Russellville Hamfest and others, people just leave early. I don't know why. Uh,
Well, this was Easter was a problem.
yeah. Well, you might need to. Well, I don't know if it would hurt your sales or not. You might need to say on that main prize. You might say you got to be here to win it. That way, at least they'd have to stay, until the end. But I don't know.
That the whole thing with the Ham Fest is so we can get hams to socialize. That might be a good idea.
Yeah. Well, I almost stayed. I think I left about 10 minutes early. I knew you would call me if I won it, but I didn't get a call. Well, anyway, hey, I see. It looks like a Heath kit there, and I don't know what else, man. I'm not close enough to that. Do you know these people?
Yeah, that's Fat Cat Parts there.
Okay.
Uh,
That guy's at a lot of
he's,
Hamfest. Lots of Hamfest.
yeah, he's at Memphis. He's at lots of them, and they have American-made connectors. They're quality connectors, and man, I load up. I'm glad to see him coming.
Yeah.
And I failed this year. I usually have a contest with his wife on the table covers and the display, but I kind of slid this time. I had to put mine on.
Oh.
She's got those tables decorated.
Yeah. I see. Well, we have tablecloths and skirts and stuff that we use on our tables, and it really looks good. Although I didn't bring any down to Corinth to put up there, we went kind of didn't want to do much work, just kind of wanted to enjoy things. But the tablecloths do dress things up a whole lot there. Here's this is our table. This is our table right there, and that's my friend Ed. And I brought some. I'm trying to clean out the attic. I brought some hubs, some switches and hubs. I brought a couple of UPSs out there. There's a USB camera. I brought a bunch of antennas, 440 antennas. I brought a 17 element 2 meter. I thought for sure that 2 meter beam would sell. Nobody bought it. I had to haul that thing back, man. That thing is about 15 feet long. But it's going to sell.
Things were so busy, I didn't get to buy anything. I've got the twin to that one. I'd have bought that so I'd have me a stack set.
Yeah. Well,
Those
okay.
are hard to mount.
Now we're. This is. What? Let's see.
Those long beams are hard to mount in Wyoming because of the wind.
This is Glenn's table here. He had mostly rotors and stuff here. I don't think Glenn sold anything. He was a little disappointed that he didn't sell anything, but it'll eventually move. All right, now here we go. If you look behind that little, I don't know what that tall reddish thing. There's a donut back here. One donut left. I could be eating that donut. I could eat that donut right now. I'm hungry for a donut right now. Now, let me tell you, your sausage and biscuits were great, man. I loved it. Keep it up, man. Keep it up.
I think that's part of the show. We should, if you have a good ham club, they'll have food involved, and this
Yeah, they will.
Hamfest, so they'll have food involved. So just get ready to partake on that. We'll do better each year on the food.
Yeah, well, it was good. That sausage biscuit, it did good, and then I kind of finished it off with a couple donuts. So yeah,
There you
it did good there, man. Did good. I don't know who that is. Oh, that's the guy that was riding the scooter that has the antenna on it.
Yep.
Got a picture of him from the front. Now, this may be your table. I don't know. I think
it is.
It is your table. What all you got on there, man?
Big power supply there.
Yeah,
Is that a
Yeah,
duplexer? Is that a duplexer top left there?
it is.
Probably-
It's a 70 centimeter.
yeah, 70 centimeter. Well, that's probably a duplexer bottom left, isn't it? That black box.
Yeah, that is the one. The black box is a duplex. That's a 24-volt power supply on the right.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's a lot of 6-meter stuff. I had about 5, 6-meter rigs, and I was about like Glenn. Nobody seemed to be interested.
You know, back in the 70s, I tried. I got a hold of a guy gave me probably 20 100-watt Motorola trunk mount radios with the control heads and everything, and we put them in our cars and stuff. I don't know if we ever made a contact on them. I don't know. It didn't seem to. I don't remember any great contacts with them. 6 meters, I loved it back in the early 60s. I had a lot of fun on 6 meters. And I'm still trying to listen for your 6-meter repeater down here at Corinth.
I bought a 300-watt amp last year at Orlando, and I haven't installed it. That's how procrastinating I've been. But I did learn something from the Mississippi Highway Patrol. You got to have at least 4 loops if you're using those DB212. One loop is kind of like taking one of 412s and throwing away 3 loops. It's not going to work real well.
Well, I thought the 4 loops was pretty standard, being one antenna. I mean, I've seen 8 up, 4 and 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Highway Patrol standard is 8. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm headed.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you got. I think this is still yours, isn't it? I don't know. I can't tell.
Yeah, that's it's one of the 6-meter rigs.
Yeah.
Actually, it's 2 of them. It's 2 Midland 6 meters.
Yeah.
They were new and they were run for repeater here for about a year, and then I put a Motorola on.
Well, there you go. There's your 6-meter. Now that's a small radio. The 100-watt trunk mount I was talking about. Those suckers were about 2.5 foot tall and maybe 18 inches wide. They were heavy, big old things, But there you go. Control head, and you got your radio. That one right there was ready to go, right? Was it on 6 meters?
It is. It's actually got some channels programmed into it and works on the ham band.
Okay, so is that programmable?
It is.
Oh, okay. Well, the ones we got, we had to buy the crystals, with the crystal oven and so forth. All right.
Right.
Yeah. Now, this was.
Those look like rugged speakers.
A speaker. I think what this was, you could Bluetooth to those, from your phone, and play music and so forth through them there. And I'm looking at the price down at the bottom.
Did you store stuff in the case?
maybe I'm looking at something with fans in it. That's not it. So yeah, we looked inside one. He's got a little small lipo battery in there, and looks like a Bluetooth receiver and probably an audio amp. I think it's mainly to play your music back. And what we got here? We got some
Power supplies, probably.
power
Or amps.
supplies. Yeah, power supplies.
Yep. Or there, and there actually it says amp on the front, so there might be an amplifier in there.
Well, TR2.
Yeah, this guy works a lot of the high power solid state amps, and
Is that what these are?
we
These
sell-
are amps?
no, those are power supplies.
Okay.
He uses the server type power supplies
Yeah.
and some high current,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
and you
All right.
you can stack the Now that's some of the solid state amps he has.
All right. This is some amplifiers here with the name Fat
Yeah.
Boy on it. With the name Fat Boy on it, I can imagine they're built for CB. I don't know. Might be wrong.
Yeah, he's a dual purpose. He's a ham and a CBer, so
Yeah. Yeah.
he's got it covered.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. 450 and 390. Pretty pricey, but it looks like he's got a system where he builds them. Got some good cases around him there. All right, Galaxy Saturn. This is CB radio. I think it's CB radio. Got to be a CB, isn't it?
What's that?
Well,
That's a CB radio, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. I was looking at the channel 888, 8.8. That's on channel 8.8. Never heard of that one, but
well, it says CW on it though, which is kind of interesting. Notice
you know
the
what?
little-
It's got AM, FMs, and CW. I don't think that's a CB.
Now that's one of the what they call export radios. It's basically a 10 meter that will do CB.
Oh,
that,
okay.
some of the CBers use, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's a cool radio. That might be something to play with. You know. That's kind
No.
of cool. 300 for that. Huh. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. There we go. We got us a Heath SWR meter. Forward and reflected. Forward
Yeah,
and reflected.
separated, so it doesn't read. So you have to calculate the SWR.
Well, do you? Well, yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's power on the right side. So, yeah, on the left side, for the new guys on here, just got their license and never used one of these. On the older SWR meters, you had to key down and you had to turn a little knob, and you take the needle and you see where it says set. You adjust the little knob where the needle's full scale, and then you flip the switch to reflected, and then you can read the SWR. I guess, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the way I used
power.
to do it.
Yeah. Back when I got started, we didn't even have SWR meters. There was one in a handbook we built. I built it, and that was the one that you said you had to calculate. So that was where you adjusted full scale. Let's see how you did it. You did it full scale. I don't remember now, but there was a formula like,
Yeah. A lot of people printed up little cards, SWR charts.
Yeah,
Those pretty-
A plus B divided by, A divided by B, or so. I forget what the formula was, but you had to, and that was just too much for me. I couldn't do it. So I'm glad they came out with a cross needle. That makes it real simple. All right, well then, now these are some CBs here, and it looks like he's got.
CBs.
It looks like he does some printing, some 3D printing here.
Yeah, those are some display stands.
Is that what those are? Display stands. Okay.
Yeah, they clip on the side of the radio and jack them up where they're displayed.
Okay, I got you. Okay, very good. All right. Well,
It is.
this is one of my buddies here. I think he's the one that stole the 7300, isn't he, Harold?
Yeah, I believe that's the one.
Yeah, he stole the 7300. If it hadn't been for him and his ticket, I might have won. And I see him, but just about every time. I'm gonna have to talk to him if he shows up next weekend and put a little pressure on him to quit buying tickets.
Yeah,
We're
I
gonna
bet he
put a
only bought
blockade.
one.
I'm gonna put a blockade on
Yeah.
tickets. Yeah, but yeah, and his brother's there too. His brother makes those antennas that you see behind him there. Looks like he's got a lot of handy talkies.
Oh,
Let's see.
this was a delivery guy. That's David.
This is a delivery guy here.
K5 DAD was the winner, and this guy delivered it.
Okay. Man, look at that TS2000. How clean that sucker is. It looks brand new.
Yeah.
I got a TS2000. It don't look quite that shiny, but yeah.
You must have shined it up for the show.
You know,
And he has a custom-
that radio is still holding its
That's why it's
value.
in such good shape.
I've got one of those. That radio is still holding its value. I think I'm seeing them selling out there for $1,000. It's an all mode,
Yeah.
HF, VHF, UHF radio.
It's dual receive, and all kind of nice things.
Yeah. All right, what do we got? Kenwood, R2000. This is a receiver.
SWL receiver.
Yeah, I used to look at that in catalogs and stuff, and I thought, oh man, it'd be really nice to have one of those. The R2000 Kenwood receiver, communications receiver. Wow, looks nice. Got a speaker there, mic. I think that speaker probably went with that receiver, or it goes to one of the Kenwood radios. I don't know.
Yep. Heil Mike.
All right.
Tool
Well, we
battery.
got some battery chargers here, battery packs, I guess for tools. We got a Variac back there. Yep, we got a Variac. That's cool. Versaload. Boy, I remember when
Yeah,
this
there we
came
go.
out years and years and years ago. The oil that came
Okay.
with them had cancer issues. I think nowadays, do you know, Brett or Harold? I think they're running like cooking oil, mineral oil, or something in them now.
Yeah, they're using
Well, if you-
mineral oil. They got selecting that PCB.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you take a close look at the label on that one, it says does not contain PCBs. So I guess by the time that was made, they figured it out.
Yeah, you can kind of look at the top there. You can see a little oil around the top there. That looks like cooking oil to me. Man, I don't know.
Yeah,
I wonder, would motor oil work? My son asked a question the other day. I would guess motor oil might work. It'd be kind of messy.
there's probably more carbon content in motor oil than there
Oh.
is vegetable oil,
Yeah.
and it probably arc through on you.
Yeah, it might not work too good. Okay, well, I'll tell him don't try it. He wasn't going to try it anyway. All right, let's see. Look at these circuit breakers here. These things are...
Those are your master breaker for your panel, and those are for
I
old
needed...
panel.
Yeah, I wanted to get me a couple of those put on my station here. Look at those circuit breakers. Man.
Those look like ITE, maybe? The old, which became Gould, which became Siemens.
Man, I don't know. I don't have
Yeah,
a
but
box. I don't have a box that they'll snap in, so I just didn't get them,
Yeah,
man.
they're the master breaker in your power panel.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got here going here. A Drake. Works well. $75. Nice and clean. Reactive, resistant antenna. I guess that's a tuner. Yeah.
That's
Matching
a tuner.
network. Yeah. I don't know that I've ever heard them marked reactive and resistive. I don't think other tuners are marked like that.
Some of them are.
Are they?
Yeah.
All right. This is cool. Looks good.
Another tuner
Yeah. Yep.
and a watt meter.
I don't particularly like the old style SWR meter. Yeah. You got to do the set and all that stuff, Microphones. Guy had a bunch of military microphones there. This is obviously this is an LC matching network. The nice thing about an LC circuit, you know, you got one capacitor and one inductor. It'll match just about any impedance. You put your cables on there one direction, it'll match low impedance, and if it won't do that, reverse the cables on there, and it'll match the high impedance. So that's kind of interesting. Or you could put a switch on the front to switch the inputs. But I love LC matching circuits. I built a bunch of them here. And look at there. That is from, that right, I don't know who that's from.
That looks like a PV.
I don't know. I don't know.
Sort of a Stratocaster copy.
Yeah. Looks like the guitar is in good shape. The case is kind of come apart, but, you know, I don't know if he sold it or not. There's just a shot down through the room there. The tables there are pretty much empty. Harold, that was probably just a little before closing time, and a lot of people are already packed up there and getting ready to go home, you know.
Yeah, we only had like 4 tables that weren't covered, and 2 of those were reserved. The guy didn't show up,
Yeah,
so we
yeah.
matched out pretty well. Oh, that's a good one there. That's a EMP proof inverter.
That's an inverter. $150
Remember,
for a 500 watt. And what is that like that's an inverter maybe? The motor runs?
Is that a
It's motor.
It looks like
motor
a dynamo.
generator.
It's a dynamo, I guess.
Yeah.
EMP
12
proof.
volts to give you 110 volts AC.
Yeah.
Yep.
500 watts is not much. I bet that sucker draws some current off the battery, off 12 volts. Yeah.
Yeah, 40, 50 amps probably at least on it.
Well, let's see. At 100 amps, well, 50 amps. 50 amps times 12 volts would be, what is that?
600.
600 watts. So, yeah, probably close to 50 amps. Probably. Woo. Our battery.
You need the engine running.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice looking ICO yoke tester, flyback yoke tester. Boy, I bet nobody has a use for that anymore. Guys, the old tube TVs with the picture tubes had a flyback transformer in them that generated the high voltage. And I don't know, a yoke tester. The yoke is actually a series of coils that slid over the neck of the picture tube, and they were used to help to tell that electron beam where to go, you know, on that screen here. But anyway, if you want to service some TVs that you got picture tubes in them, this will be a good device here. Flyback transformer and a yoke tester.
Yeah. Did you have to take the transformer out to use this?
I don't know. I never, you know, I grew up in a TV repair shop with my uncle, but I don't ever remember us having to test a flyback transformer or a yoke. I don't know if I ever saw one go bad, to tell you the truth.
You just had to have a degaussing coil.
Yeah. I'm trying to watch the chat room to see if there's anybody in there that maybe has a good comment that we need to talk about. Oh, Messenger 250. This is one of your nice CB, you know. Look at that. This is a nice cabinet. This is this was solid state. Johnson. Cool. All right, I think we're back at, are we back at your table, Harold?
Yeah, that's another set of 70 centimeter duplexers.
Yeah. Yep. What's the price there? $100. DC regulated power.
Yeah,
35 amp power supply. Cool.
Yeah, it was variable. That thing got a new home.
Oh, did it? Somebody got it? Took it?
It did.
All right. All right.
RAM.
Well, we got miscellaneous
That was-
here. I see some RAM. See some
That
RAM.
was the free
and
stuff over there.
dual band Wi-Fi repeater. Yeah. Okay. I don't need any of that
those
right
yeah.
now.
aren't worth much, unfortunately.
Now this is on Harold's table right here. Now it may look a little bad, but if you need a good if you need a good power supply, and you can figure out how to use this thing, I bet you it'll work good. Look at there.
It had the manual. There was a bunch of those things I had that were new old stock
Yeah,
and
yeah. Looks like
cheap for 20 amp 12 volt. You know.
it looks like the input to the transformer there. You could wire it for 220 or 110. I see the jumpers there.
It actually has some terminals somewhere about the thing where you can actually tie onto it. I'm not sure. That's just the jumpers there to make it 220 or 110 that are sticking out.
Right. Yep.
It has a connection terminal somewhere else on the other
Okay.
side, I believe.
All right. Now, we talked a little about this. This is a Harold's car radio right here. Got a power supply underneath it there, and
Yeah. It was dust free too. It stayed at Lake Hill Motors for about 30 years.
at one time dust free. You know, I was telling Harold back when I grew up, teenager, TV shop. I got a car radio. A car radio has such a good receiver in it. It will hear stuff that other radios would not hear. It was very sensitive and selective. And of course, the one I got was tube. This one's solid state, probably 12 volt power supply to run it. I got one. Of course, it had tubes in it. And of course, if you got tubes in it, you got to have higher voltages, like 150, 200 volts in there, and you got to have filaments and stuff like that. So anyway, I got me a car radio there, and I took out the car radios back then had a vibrator in them that actually took the 12 volts, and the vibrator would turn that 12 volts on and off, on and off, on and off, and that way it was kind of like AC. It would actually go into a transformer, and you could get the voltages you needed. But I took all that out, and I found another power supply that came out of something else that was already built, and so I just wired a higher voltage power supply into the correct places in the radio, and I built me a wooden cabinet, and I mounted that thing in there, and I put the pull-up antenna on the back, and my grandmother took that thing. She said that was the best sounding radio she's ever heard. And Harold, I bet a lot of people used that radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was the lucky owner of that thing was down in Tishomingo County, and he couldn't pick up a radio in his shop, so I made a donation.
Yeah. All right.
I'm interested in the tubes on the left-hand side there.
They go inside there. You just take that cover off, they'll fit right in there.
Yeah.
Looks like you have a couple of good transmitter tubes.
Yeah, yep. 3-400s. Yep. Now, Harold, I should have bought this from you. I don't know, man. I can't pass stuff up like this. This is a Henry radio amplifier. I think the tubes were bad, but he only wanted $600 for it. And Harold, you said you had some 4- or 3- tubes that Mike could work in it.
I had a set of new 400s, but I wasn't gonna mess with it, so I got some 500s go in there.
So this thing actually had 3 3-500s or whatever it is in it.
Right.
And I guess you could put like some 4-400s or something like that in it. You might have to do a little socket change
There's
out.
one less grid, so you have to tie 2 grids together on the socket.
Yeah. There's no reason that wouldn't work. I would think.
No.
When we homebrewed stuff like this, it didn't make any difference what it was. We just stuck it together and it worked. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at the complexion on that thing. It was good.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
there's the conversation.
It's in good shape. Look at the power switch on that thing. It's like a breaker. In fact, it may be a breaker. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Now, this was intriguing. This is a big old long switch that I don't know what it did. Tell us, Howard.
It's a relay there.
Well, that's
It was
a latching or a delatching relay thing. You would set the switches up, and if you power that relay, it would reset all the switches. Howard, what would you use that for?
it's a manual reset. It's a thing that probably used in power distribution, and they had a remote thing where they could flip that switch.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just checking the chat room real quick. Guys, after this, we'll be giving away a handy talkie to some lucky viewer. If you're reading the ticker there, you're going to have to be in the w5kub.com chat room if you want to be eligible. That's where you're going to have to be, because where Hambot's going to pick from. So you got enough time, go to w5kub.com, put your name in here, and just join the chat room. All right. I don't need that switch. GoPro.
No.
GoPro. Was that yours, Harold?
Yeah, I use that a lot on my traveling with TVA and stuff to film some of the backside of the dishes and see out some of the tower problems going up and down.
Yeah. I've got a GoPro, but I've never really used it for anything.
Yeah.
Well,
It's hooked onto a helmet, so you can do something really dangerous.
yeah,
Film yourself doing it.
yeah, you can. All right, we're back on the tables here. This guy, he always brings a lot of good stuff. All right, well, I don't know what we got here. 550, must be a good radio. DX what? DX something.
Oh, that's an Alinco.
Oh, okay. Is that an I guess that's an HF rig.
Yep, it is.
I've never
HF.
seen a Linko HF rig.
Yeah.
There's a 730.
That's an oldie. That's an oldie, but it works.
Yeah. I just think, somebody gets their license, gets their general license. You don't have to spend, you don't have to spend $1,000 or $1,300 or whatever for radio. Buy you a $250 HF rig that works. You'll make just as many contacts and have just as much fun with that. All right. Anything you wanted from connectors to, I don't know, connectors and whatever. He had it there. Connectors, mic jacks, power connectors. He had it. He had it here. Here we go. Here's some of my old tubes I used to play with. I loved the 813s, man. You could get those surplus. Used to get it. Just tons of 813s. I built an amplifier with 813s in it at one point. That was kind of cool. Another good military tube was the 807. It didn't run much power, probably 100 watts, but 807, back in the old days, if somebody says, do you want an 807, 807 was a beer.
Yes.
And
They're shaped like beer bottles.
the 807 was a 12-volt filament tube. They came out with in the military, I don't know, I guess it's military. They came out with a 1625. A 1625 was exactly the same as an 807, except it had a 12-volt filament instead of a 6-volt filament. All right, now you know all about tubes. All right, yeah. What is a Kenwood receiver?
Another HWO receiver.
What's that? 580. 580, whatever. I can't read the model. But anyway, that's a pretty receiver. I like it. Wow. All right, back to tubes again. Look at that. Oh, beautiful Helicrafters receiver. Man, They don't make them like they used to. Beautiful. That's the SX110. If you're listening on the radio, we're looking at a Helicrafter's SX110. It is looks like a ham band only receiver, 80 through 10. Yeah, 80 through 10.
Yep.
SWR meter, some high mics. I see 2800. All band. Is that a VHF or is that an HF rig? I think that's a VH. I think that's VHF UHF. I think.
That's what I remember.
Yeah. That's the IC 2800H.
It's at least VHF.
Yeah. MFK switching power supply. There we go. 40 amp. Man. That's pretty stiff.
Yeah, well, it has meters, which is nice.
Astron. That's the RS35M. I've got one of those on the left.
Yes, I do too.
The only thing about that power supply, you got 4, I think they're 3055 transistors on the back, those power transistors. After a while, the screws will get loose that mount those transistors on the back of that power supply, and they won't make good connection. You'll start seeing little problems. Just tighten the screws up, see if that helps you. Nice power supply. What's the current there?
52 amps, it says.
52 amp. Wow. I guess that's for getting into a lot of these solid state amps. You know, they really pull some current. But I think they're up around 48 or 50 volts. Some of these amps. So you got to get the right power supply for them. 12 volt power system, 50 amps right there, continuous. Look at that.
300 peak. You could start your car.
Yeah, you could. 7300 right there, and one of the older ones. You know, I don't know if I would tell the difference between the older one or the new Mark. Is it the Mark II or Mark III, whatever it's called?
Yeah, Mark II.
Mark II. The 7300 now is selling, I guess, for around 800 something, 800 plus. The Mark II, I think Gigaparts is selling for somewhere upwards of $1,400 or something like that. But you know, the Mark II has the capability on the back where you can plug a monitor in, and you know, some extra nice things like that, where the 7300 does not. So I guess it's worth it.
Well, they're trying to get it into the same class as the FTDX10.
Yeah. All right. There's one of the Memphis guys there. Looks like he brought just miscellaneous everything. Here's some test equipment. Pretty cool.
Yes.
Looks like maybe, I don't know if maybe that's a sweep. I don't know, signal generator or a sweep generator. I don't know.
And a capacitor
Signal
checker.
generator. There we go.
Yeah,
We got a tube tester. Look at the top right. Top right. There's a Variac. See that Variac with a meter? Variac with a meter up there. Lafayette. You know, they used to be a big electronics company like Night. You know, and there it is. Power voltage regulator. Variac. And the meter goes from like 0 to 140 or 150. But
if you try to recondition old tube equipment, you got to have that to bring the power up slow.
But you know what? I bought that, so that's one of my purchases. I bought that. I paid $15 for it. It works. In all my 70 years of building and repairing radios and stuff, I've never really had to use a Variac. I've never had an issue. But everybody says, you need that for, to bring up an old radio, the capacitors may be bad, blah, 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 and so forth. So I said, well, if everybody says you got to have one, I bought me one. Now, I may never use it, but I got me one now. Tube tester. Oh, going the wrong way. That is a
Grid dip meter.
Grid dip meter. He's got two. Look, he got a couple of them here. A couple grid dip meters. You can do the same thing now with these antenna analyzers. Just put a little loop on it, on the antenna analyzers, and stick it up next to your coil and tune the frequency and watch for the dip in SWR. So, but that was kind of neat to have one of those back in the early days. I do a lot of building. I'd love to have one of these, but I just didn't want to spend the money. This is a resistive substitution box. You can tune
Decade
in.
box.
How much?
They call it a decade box.
Yeah, it's a decade box. This is for resistance. They also made one, I guess it matches this, for capacitors. And I always kind of thought, I'm looking for one, but I never really got me one. I passed over this one. But
Well,
if you're an
I keep
experimenter,
on thinking that. Yeah, I keep on thinking I might need one, but then I can always just reach into my cabinet and pull out different sizes of fixed
Yeah.
resistor to use. So I've never really felt. I mean, I've never wound up buying one because I could always do that.
yeah. This is a cool little MFJ tuner. Cool. This guy built several antenna tuners, and he did a really pretty neat job on them. They looked really neat. And I love building antenna tuners like this and playing with them.
So that was a
There's-
CLC tuner.
There's another one he did. I don't particularly like that one. That coil's kind of messy. I don't like that one. There's no one. I like that one. That's probably that may be a T match or something like that, where you got a capacitor on each side and more likely the inductor to ground right there. So that's a good tuner. It'll tune about anything.
Mhm.
And here's another one. Drake. Yep, that was a good. A lot of people had those back then. A lot of people still use them, or at least they collect them.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what did he want for that SWR meter? I should have bought that. I'm looking for another cross needle like that. I should have bought that.
Mm. Martin
Well-
probably still has a bunch.
I'll tell you, when you don't put a price on something, a lot of people just walk right past it. They don't even want to ask the price. I found that if you can put a price on everything, you'll sell more stuff. I see
I see
7,000.
it said. Yep.
I don't have any experience with it. I'm sure it will work well.
Oh, it's classic mobile rig. And more adapters.
Yeah, more adapters, more parts. I don't know if that's wire. I think that's wire, isn't it? Yeah, that's wire.
Yep.
It's red and black. It's got to be wire. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Looks good.
Hookup wire.
There we go.
Yes.
I'm
These are
sure,
essential.
Harold. I'm sure you got a lot of parts around. You could use that, Harold. Why didn't you get it?
I didn't shop. I run around and acted like an idiot, I think. But most of many deals that I glanced at was going to go back. But I didn't get PL 259s. You can tell that's bad if I didn't buy those.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
I picked those up in Memphis last week.
All right, you need a speaker. We got speakers. What do we got here? We got a. Wait a minute. There's a substitution box. That's a capacitor substitution, and there's a resistor. Isn't that the resistor? There's both of them right there. That's what I've been looking for. He's got the matching resistor and capacitor, and here they're calling them, substitute. They got several names. Substitution box. Yeah, cool.
And then a Bellin box, I'd have to look up what the ratio was.
Yeah. Okay. What do we got? Power supply. 2-meter amp.
Then left 70 watt solid state power amplifier.
Yeah. Here's a kind of a unique design for your. Well, actually, they make one like it for 2 meters and 440, but I think that's a 220, and I don't know. All right, Fat Cat parts, good homebrew. What's he got there? That's a signal generator. We got a Heathkit something there. Not familiar with it.
Yep. Yaesu transceiver had some of the stuff on top that was always, if you wanted to stack things on your desktop, it was always difficult.
Yeah. There's your
Classic MFJ antenna analog.
MFJ. That's one of the older ones, but hey.
Yeah, that's only a B, which means it
Yeah.
did HF and it went up to UHF but no higher. VHF but no higher.
All right, so he also has some power supplies here. 50, 35 amp, 75 amp, 150 amp. He got some big power supplies here.
Did they have fan? Okay, I see fans in the 150 one. I assume they all have fans.
Yeah, it looks like they got fans. The 150 amps got multiple fans. It looks like. Got him a bird watt meter. Let's see what else. More connect. Oh wait, these are like connector ends. There's some split boat connectors, terminal ends, all kinds of stuff here. Yeah.
Yep. I'll use those for battery cables. I was working on some of those.
All right. He has mostly gizmos, computer stuff, and different things like that. I usually end up taking something home that he brings. I don't think I got anything from him this year. $75 new. Bejeton. Never heard of it. You know what that is? Is that a radio? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to guess it's DMR.
Never heard of it. Huh. There we go. That's the speakers you need to put hook your HF rig up to. Now, I started to get this. This is a really old, rusty screen type TV antenna, but then I realized I don't have any over-the-air signals I want to pick up anyway, so I didn't get it. I thought about getting it just for the U-bolts, but they look rusty. Can't even tell you what's in that pile.
Yeah. That inverter to the right of the antenna was more interesting.
Bearcat 210. Nah. Anyway, scanner. Cool.
Old police scanner.
Yeah.
Back before the days of trunked radio.
Looks like maybe tri-band antenna.
Yeah, well, that one's got traps in it, so it could be a trapped vertical. One of the hustlers, maybe.
I don't think it's a vertical because see that middle plate?
Yeah.
See the plate? I think it's a beam. A beam. Probably a 3-element, possibly a 4-element. All right.
Could be.
That's Tom from Memphis. There we go. See, I told you. I bought me the Lafayette power voltage regulator. And it works. The meter reads, you know, everything works. Cool. Glenn won pretty about halfway through. He won a radio. Look at that. He was ahead of me. We always have this competition. Who wins the most prizes? He was ahead of me. He was.
AI noise reduction.
Got noise reduction. Okay. That is a AI two-way radio.
I think that means it listens to you and then tells you to be quiet.
It might. Anyway, that's a nice. Looks like a nice dual band radio. It might be DMR. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway. Oh, food. They had the food truck outside there. And Harold,
That was some good food
the
too.
food was good. It really was. Food was good. You could get barbecue ribs, chicken, whatever you wanted, man.
Like $6 a plate. It was affordable.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, one guy brought some tower. I guess the reason my 2-meter beams and stuff didn't sell, he had one outside. It didn't look like it sold either. I thought for sure they would probably sell. Some of the parking lot outside the front door. The 220 antenna, $35. That's like a J-pole. Here's the brother of the guy I think that won the 7300. He makes these antennas. He makes some beautiful antennas for sale.
Is this the same fellow who was at Huntsville selling antennas that look like these?
Yeah, same guy. Yep. There he is right there on the left. They're brothers. They always have a couple tables together. The one on the right there is the one that won the big prize, 7,300. Oh, okay. Well, that is all the pictures we've got. Man, we had a good time, Harold. Can't wait till next year. We'll be back.
Well, that's the plan.
Yeah.
We'll
I will
make it
say,
together.
hey, let me. I got one more thing here about the hamfest. I will say that I did win a prize. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Find her video. I'll find it here in a minute. Here we go. I did win one prize. Right here, I won a Bofang 5R Mini. Now, I never heard of it. Never heard of the Mini. But I'm going to show you what it is. Look at this, guys.
They don't just give you one, they give you two.
They give you two. They're so small they can give you two, okay? So look at this thing. Look how small it is. Fits in the palm of your hand. It feels well built. That's the metal.
They kept the screen size big. That's a good thing.
Yeah, well, it's pretty big. I haven't turned them on yet, but it feels heavy. Let's see how it feels with the battery. Can't get the battery out. And of course it's USB-C charger. There's a battery. That's a pretty heavy little radio right there. That thing might have some. You know, look. This is kind of neat right here, man. Oh, I see why this is a 40 watter. 40 watts. Yeah.
40?
40 watts. 40 watts. 40 watts UHF. It's 75 watts on VHF.
Huh? Are you sure?
The battery's nice. I don't know, man. It's cool. I like it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I'm gonna do something with it, but Might just look at it. I don't know. But I won that. So Glenn and I think we're equal on prizes won. So that's the 5R Mini ham radio, dual band. That thing is so small and it still got it dual band inside it. I don't know how they did it. All right. All right. So any last words about the Hamfest? I know I enjoyed it.
Well, we just we try to have more prizes each year and bigger prizes, and people have a better time each year. If you come back, you expect to have more of a ham fest than you did the year before. So just keep enjoying it, and we'll keep producing one here.
Well, you know, Harold, what I might do, I'm looking at Hambot over here. He went to sleep. I might even next year, I may donate some prize for you guys to give out for your Hamfest prizes.
Yeah, that would be a wonderful thing if some of the vendors throw in something. Fat Cat threw in some stuff this year.
Yeah.
And a couple of other little half prizes between the hourly prizes. So, yeah, if something like that comes along, we welcome those.
Well, all right. Well, again, had a good time down there, and I hope some of your locals there tuned in tonight and saw themselves on the show. And we're ready to go back next year.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Looking forward to.
Thank you so much.
Brett's when he's.
Yeah. All right, look, let's do Hambot. Well, our reviews of these things always take up nearly the whole show. So
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of stuff that for next week.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess. Brett, we can probably get your 15-minute in a minute, but let's do this. Let's do Hambot. Let's do Hambot and give away a handy talkie. And let's do that now because I want to do one every single week that we're on. So let me make an announcement here. If you want to be eligible tonight to win the handy talkie, you got to be in the w5kub.com chat room. Go to w5kub.com. You still have time. And the page that comes up, you'll see video on the left, and on the right, you'll see chat room. Enter your name, enter your call letters, do something, put your name in there. If your name is Billy Joe Bill Bob, type in Billy Joe Bill Bob and hit join. And you'll be in a chat room. And then Hambot will be looking, and he will be picking somebody out. So let me see if Hambot is working over here. He went to sleep while we did that other thing. Let me see how he is. All right, guys. Hambot is trying to wake up. Let's see. I'll tell you what we're going to do. It's going to take me a minute to try to get Hambot going. Why don't you, Brett, why don't you go ahead and talk about your Hamfest, and we will do the prize after after you talk about the hamfest. So it's probably going to take me 5 minutes or 10 minutes to get Hambot
Okay.
going, but I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can do your thing, okay?
Okay, we'll do that. More Hamfest material. Here we go. Let me go ahead and share share some video if I can get it to do that. Let's see. Okay, here we are. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So a little bit of this video is in vertical, but then in portrait, but the rest is going to be in landscape mode. One thing about the Larkfest event is that they have a scavenger hunt where they post questions all around the room in various places, and you have to find the questions and then answer them. And the first one was easy. It was what does ARL stand for? And of course, I filled that in. I went around and the questions got a little bit harder. They were asking questions like, what was the Radio Act of 1912? Things like that. But I had a lot of fun, and I put my answers in, and I wound up winning a Flex Radio hat, which was kind of cool. So then I started prowling the tables, and more stuff similar to what Tom was already showing. All sorts of cool stuff under the tables. Whenever you're at a hamfest, always look under the tables because that's where you find some of the very best stuff. But this one had some good things on the tables too. Everything from HTs, cameras, computer equipment. There was an LCD projector, DMR, all sorts of cool stuff. This is a particularly good flea market. And these folks were holding are going to be holding a hamfest later in the summer down in the Pikes Peak area of Colorado, and they were out there promoting that and also selling some interesting gear. Here we have some Ameritron amplifier equipment and a lot of audio equipment too at this hamfest. Oscilloscopes. Look through here. Here is a television sweep generator, another thing that's good for repairing TVs. And again, if you look down, you find all sorts of interesting things underneath. I see an antenna there and power supplies. And the good thing about looking on the floor is that usually that's what they're willing to sell for very little or even give away for free. I took some power supplies out of that box. So I'm coming back across the table. More goodies. Old audio equipment. Lots of rotors. And then there were a lot of people selling classic routers. So these are Linksys radios, all programmed with the Arden firmware. Attach a good antenna to those, and you have a mesh node. Tube tester. And tubes. They were selling entire kits of tubes for a song. If you had any interest in tube equipment, you could get them. That was a Signal Link. Many of the tubes in this bin were actually not functional, but they were sure pretty. Especially some of the big beam triodes with the heat sinks on the bottom. I want to have one of those on my desk, just as a conversation piece. So there's an FM modulation meter. I don't have any particular need of that, but that was interesting to look at and talk about with the fellow who was selling it. Marine radios. low pass filter back in the days of TVI. Now pretty much everyone watches video on the net, so it's no longer a problem. GMRS equipment. Lots of HF transceivers. And Baofangs. Not quite as compact as the one that Tom got. And interesting stuff from China. There's a Bearcat CB. And there's a Jigu X6100. And a little SDR radio. I actually much prefer the G90 to that one. And this booth had all sorts of interesting things made out of yoga mat material. Tough books. I see a lot of these at Hamfest. I see a lot of these at Huntsville. They're heavy, but they're certainly rugged. So there you have duplexers for your repeater. Another old oscilloscope, antenna switch, more HTs.
I never saw any real trouble up there at all. Ever any trouble. My guy was running it, so
Screwdriver antenna.
when anything went on, both my cousins.
Lots of parts, lots of adapters, connectors. And mixed in with that, interesting old classic radios. I looked inside there. That one was actually complete, and he said it was functional. I'm going to see if I can scale this up. I'm not sure why this is cropped so much. I couldn't figure out what this device was. I looked at it for a long time. Even the owner couldn't figure out quite what that was. It was free if I wanted it, but I couldn't figure out couldn't figure out what I would do with it. So let's see if I can zoom this any bigger. Here we go. It's made it a little bigger, but it's not centered. Don't know why the video is acting a little funny here, but you can see everything. Fire alarm. Old telephones, the old Bell 300 series, and then the newer ones were touchstones. Okay. More tubes. Bird watt meter. A connector toolkit. He was charging a lot for that. And now here, there are a bunch of caddies full of tubes, where he's giving away this entire caddy full of tubes for $50. He obviously just wanted to get rid of them. And those are, well, a lot of good 6-volt tubes in there. I am not sure why this video isn't being centered. I am going to try to get it in here. Here we go. Computer power cables. There's a computer power supplies there that I wished I had known about, because right after I got back, my wife's PC blew a power supply, and I needed to fix it. Fortunately, it wasn't too hard to do. I'm going to go ahead here a little bit. More old stuff mixed in with very new stuff. That router, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 antennas on that Wi-Fi router. That's impressive. I'm not sure what that background noise is, by the way. It doesn't seem to be coming from me. And cell phone repeaters. Those we see those crop up a lot at hamfests. The trouble is they're specific to your provider, and so you have to look real carefully at them before you buy one, because it might not work with your phone and your provider. Meters. They were practically giving them away. All sorts of old stuff. I wonder if I could blow this up. More meters. Then there's a night signal tracer. I don't know what's going on with my video here. This is not the way it usually works.
Well,
And then there's always the craft table. There's always the craft table. And so there was one lady who had all sorts of crocheted stuff and the hooks and other things to crochet if you want to make your own. More HF rigs. This was an amazingly good swap meet for its size. Older shortwave receivers. This Sony caught my eye. This is one of the old shortwave receivers from the heyday of shortwave. Old speakerphone, right next to a DMR HT.
Oh, hey, there's a Gibson Girl transmitter.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had one of those. You can see the little curved inset on each side. That's to fit your legs. You set that thing down between your legs. You close your legs around it, and then there's a crank that comes out of there somewhere, and you turn the crank, and it will send out an SOS, or it's actually got a button on there you can send Morse code. The little door will open on there. The little round door at the bottom will open, and there's about 300 feet of wire on a reel. And with that Gibson Girl transmitter, you get two tanks that generate hydrogen. You get a balloon, and you also get a box kite. You put the kite together, and if you're in a raft, what you do, you hook that antenna on the kite or the balloon, and you fly the antenna while you send out the distress signal. And to generate the hydrogen, it's got a pipe that screws the top, the balloon goes on top of the pipe, and you stick the canister down in the ocean, in the water, and it starts bubbling, and it generates hydrogen. So that is a Gibson Girl transmitter. Look it up, and you'll probably get a lot more information about it.
Wow. Okay. And now I've got it back to normal size so you can get a good look at it. Finally found the secret to doing that.
I think if you look on the very top is where the crank is. It would fit between your legs, and that would put the crank at the very top.
There we go.
Woo, that's a lot of money. And I think I tore mine up just to get parts out of it.
So anyway, here are more Linksys routers, classic ones. And here we have low-pass filters again from the days of TVI. Whole box and everything in it. Just trying. By the end of the show, people were just practically giving stuff away. UHF beam. Fairly good selection of antennas there. More interesting things down on the floor. More routers. By the way, speaking of routers, the FCC just allowed Netgear to bring its foreign manufactured routers into the country, so it's already making exceptions to the rules that it imposed. Okay, this is turned sideways. You can still get a good idea. This table had all sorts of interesting things on it. And here are some more of those tubes. Non-functional, but pretty. Again, they make good conversation pieces. There you go. There's a Tentac. There's an Arduino starter kit there.
Up. I see a Sabtronics meter. The little blue meter down there, that's a Sabtronics meter. I have one of those. I built it in 1972, I think, when it came out. It's a digital meter.
Some of the first digital meters.
I've got one right here on the workbench.
Ah. And of course, you always have computer stuff like keyboards that people don't need.
Oh! And what's that? That is a.
Yep. It's an MFJ. That is an MFJ audio filter, I believe.
Yeah.
I'll go back a little so we can see that go by again. There we are.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I was wrong. That's not the audio filter. It looks the same. It's actually a keyer.
Okay, that's their electronic keyer. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
They did have an audio filter in a similar box.
Yep.
MMDS down converter and a generator. And
cool.
I almost bought that.
Service monitor. Yeah, a couple service monitors. Yep.
Yes, these are these are W7RF.
Yep.
He always has interesting things on his table. Little DMR. Sorry, not DMR, SDR. Okay, we're getting near the end here. And oh, that little on the right there, that little CW field transceiver is
Mm-hmm.
actually a really good transceiver. It is really only you can only use it for CW, but it's very good at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
And there we go. That's it.
All right. Well, perfect timing. Hambot is alive and well. I had to kick him a couple times. Kind of like the old TV set. I had to go up there and slap him a few times for him to start working, you know. But
Oh dear.
he's working right now. All right, let me tell everybody just real quick what to expect here, in case you're new. Hambot is going to pick a name from the chat room. You've got to be in the w5kub.com chat room. Read the note at the top, the scroller, or you won't get picked. Hambot's going to pick a name. He's going to start a clock. He's going to start a countdown. I think he gives you 1 minute to claim the prize. All you have to do is say, I'm here, or yes, or hit a period. Just type anything. Hambot will see you. He knows who you are, and we will know we have a winner. Now, if Hambot does not see you enter anything, Hambot is going to pick another person, and he's going to start the countdown again. And we will do that until somebody wins the prize. So the prize tonight is going to be the Explorer QRZ1 5-watt VHF UHF handy talkie transceiver by Gigaparts. And also, if you guys buy anything with Gigaparts, if you use the promo code W5KUB, you will get 2 times the points on all your purchases. So let's get ready and do the, let's get Hambot to give a prize away. Where's Hambot? All right. Let me try to get it up on the screen here where you guys can see it. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, let's see what he says. Looks like we're looking for KC1YFS. Are you here to claim the prize? All right, you got 45 seconds. Now, the chat room is the official person here. My voice is delayed, so my voice has nothing to do with the timing. The chat room is going to give you the correct countdown. And we're looking for KC1YFS. 30 seconds are left. I don't know, it's not looking good. Looks like we have 15 seconds left. Where is he? Wake up. Wake up. That's what you get for leaving early.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
Says he's in the room.
Is he? No. He didn't claim it. So another name is going to be drawn. All right, another name's going to be drawn. Okay. AK0A. We're looking for AK0A. Oh, we got a winner. We got a winner. He says he is here. All right. So that's good. AK0A. Let me make a note here. AK0A. Congratulations. You just won the 5-watt handy talkie from Gigaparts. And hope you have a good time with it. And we'll notify Gigaparts tonight, and hopefully they'll get that to you soon. I don't know how long it takes them to contact you and to get it to you. Hey, please send me an email with I don't know if you're good in QRZ or not. Send me an email with your address, your email address, and name, address, and everything like that. And I'll be sure and copy you when I send the note to Gigapart. So, AK0A, congratulations. All right, I'm good in QRZ. Okay, all right. And I'm good in QRZ too. All right, well, guys, we have filled up pretty much the whole show here, and we didn't get to even talk about a bunch of the other things that I had on the list. We'll get to those next week, or in 2 weeks. Hey, hit that subscribe button. Join our Facebook group. It's just called W5KUB, 15,000 people in it. Hit the subscribe button. That'll notify you when the show's coming on. Oh, hey, one thing I want to say, and maybe people are left. On Tuesday nights, our regular Tuesday night, Brett and I have been talking about having some type HF get-together. We're not going to call it a net. We're going to call it a hangout, roundtable hangout, where we just all get on there, you know, all of us viewers and friends, get on there and just say hi and talk about different things. We're going to try to start doing that on Tuesdays. I'll just watch the Facebook group. I'll kind of announce it in a Facebook group. And then it should come up on the YouTube channel when we go live, and you should be able to see the frequency and everything there, and we'll try to webcast all the contacts that we make there, so we'll try to do that, and you'll be able to see the S meter, you'll be able to see the frequency that we're on and all that kind of stuff. So we hope you guys can join us with that. And if any of you are interested, I might not be able to make it every Tuesday. Brett may not be able to make it, but if some of you guys would like to be kind of like hangout control and would like to get on there and bring the frequency up when we might not can make it or can't make it on time, we'd love to hear from you if you'd like to help do that. And I thought it'd just be a good thing for us just to get together on our old night Tuesdays and just have a very casual hangout, get together. So I don't know what you think about it, but that's that. We'll talk more about it next week. Good night, 73 to everybody, and we will see you in 2 weeks. And don't forget, 2 weeks. We're going to be on the 2nd and the 4th, the 2nd and the 4th of each month. That's about the best way to remember when. 73, everybody. Good night. We will see you later.
7-3.
73 to everybody.
It's the best ham radio show online. Amateur radio roundtable every time. Tom W5KUB keeps the stream alive. With hams worldwide, we're feeling the vibe. With Glenn KW5GP breaking it down. Building gear and wearing that crown. And Brett WI7BG shouting clear. Coming in strong from here, DD. Oh, and Mark P, yeah, he's part of the light. So tune in every Tuesday night. It's more than mics and modulation. It's heart and soul in every station. From kits and code to satellites. We learn, we laugh, we share the nights. So grab your rig, grab your crew, it's always something cool and new. No